Hey there. I just got done sitting outside on the cliffside with an ocean view in Hawaii. And me and my three other housemates all looked at the stars because I was like, we should probably sit out here and look at the sky because it's something that we haven't done and I haven't done personally and something I've been meaning to do since I've been to the island because the stars are so much clearer than most places on Earth, probably. Um, where it's just like it's just absolutely incredible that there's no clouds, and there weren't any clouds, and we'll sit down, and I wish for four shooting stars. There's four of us, and four shooting stars came. Though I would say that two or three of them didn't seem like shooting stars. It seemed like it didn't seem like a satellite either. It was weird. Um, So not sure what that was, but I mean, four shooting stars did happen. And yesterday I watched a video called The Biggest Small Farm, I think. And it was a it was someone taking video of an 8-year experience of a couple in a city apartment with a vision of having a farm. And it's literally like this one woman with her tomato plants and her vision to have a farm with zero money in a like really small city apartment. And over the course of 8 years, they go from less than ground zero to having this beautiful farm of, oh my goodness, it's just incredible. And the documentation of it shows you the like complex web of life and how it's all connected and how it's like how nature itself, it doesn't really have mistakes at a level that is just like profound. Just absolutely incredible, like truly magnificent. Like it brought me to tears. It's one of the best films I've ever seen, and it's like proof of oneness and the like divinity within all of life. And not only is it proof like within nature, but it's intimately connected to what humans are doing and how human actions, whether in flow or not in flow with life, affect life itself um, as it like naturally unravels. And it gave so much like special weight to me, so to speak, in how like this work that I'm doing is kind of like that. And it was, you know, it was just it was so incredible. But basically, the documentation of what is going on within the vision, and it's connected to the vision. The committed documentation from ground zero, absolutely defined. It's like proof of like God, basically. It's literally proof of God. And that's something that I think is kind of like part of the reason why I do this work is to prove to myself the godly nature of me, of, of who I am. Because through going back, especially with the vision and intention that I have behind this work, which is awakening, but and this one I've tied it into a pumpkin journey or a pumpkin intention of actualizing a wealth container that's much bigger than what I have now. Through going back and watching, you get to see and experience the divine synchronicities that play out through the constant expression of what's going on. And so when you look at it from the outside, you're going to be able to tell. You're going to be able to experience that divinity within um, whoever gives the publication of one's journey, of one's life. And I haven't read the autobiography of a yogi. I'm assuming that's why it's so popular. Now, he didn't write that as he's experiencing it. And I read some books that people create as they're living it, and it's really good. It's really amazing. Um, so yeah, basically, and that's something that I talked about in my last audio late last night when I was coming back. Is that the pain points within the dream, so to speak, are all a part of the dream. And so what if we can reframe our minds and our emotions and everything about us? What if we can tap into becoming aware that it's part of the dream as it arises within our awareness? And that will change everything. If you foundationally change your perception into seeing the truth of what's actually going on, and part of that is you don't know what's going on, but that it's a part of the dream, then everything that you experience is actually divine. And you can say that now. You can say, "Oh, everything's perfect. Everything is one. Everything is interconnected. Everything happened for a reason." Da 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 da. But to actually live that way, like day to day, and truly live from that place is something so entirely different. And I don't live that way. Um, I live that way to an extent. Oh, yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. Oh, I just did a pepper challenge, um, which is so cool now I think about it. We took a video, me, Corey, and Whitney, on, and no one knows who they are, so I think it's okay to say their names on this video. I try to be careful with the permission of saying like who I do things with, but I think this challenge, I don't think they care. It was a pepper challenge where they give you a square of white chocolate, and infused within that white chocolate is like 12 of the hottest peppers in the world. And so we cut it into thirds and we ate it and we filmed it. And I was saying, oh, we should start filming more of what we're doing. And they totally agreed. But this kind of just goes to show how, I mean, literally as I'm talking about this, I just realized that I'm actually doing it, and I'm doing it with the people that I'm living with. That's separate from this, right? It's separate. And I think, man, there's there's so much more to this, like expressing experience and putting it together and like looking at it. Um, yeah, because you get to see it from God's perspective, so to speak, from that higher view, when it's when you can look at it without experiencing it in the moment, right? You're also part of a higher view when you're looking at some other view, right? So it's all connected. You're always experiencing something in part of the whole web of creation, the web of life at all times. And so with the moment we really realized that, and I had some really, really cool epiphanies through watching this movie and listening to some music afterwards. I was at my dear brother and friend Brian and all under a copper pyramid. And from watching this movie into this music experience, it was just like a total, um, real kind of like experience of oneness at some level. It wasn't like full embodiment of it, but um, had lots of realizations, and things just clicked in place for me. And that's another thing too. When you express a time lapse of experience, you get to experience, if you watch it, if you look at it or intake it in some way, the timelessness of the whole thing and see the whole picture. And in doing that, you wake up, you unlock awareness pieces into how reality works, how your creation works. And through that, your mind opens and you get to experience that oneness feeling more. You get to integrate behind everything that's going on, which just brings you to more peace. Because if you're not resisting what's happening, ultimately, like if you become aware of these things, right, then you're less likely, then you're not going to, you literally embody the state of being that isn't going to resist something because you're aware that it's either part of the dream or whatever story goes on in your head. If you can see it instantly that it's all in flow, then there's nothing to resist, and there's no if you want to go into the lower ends, then there's no suffering. Um, so yeah, I wanted to just share that, and I also wanted to share 2 cards just to mix it up a little bit. And I was going to do 1 card, but 2 cards came out. So let's see what they are. Authentic truth again, and creating space. It's kind of like yin and yang there. So the creating space for this deck, I know goes into like making room for the reality to come into your life. Because if you're not like making space for what you want to call forth, then it's less likely to come forth. And I have certain beliefs on that. What is this to me? Well, this kind of reminds me of that farm. Um, if you create the space for your authentic truth, which is something that I argue is like ultimately what everyone wants to be aligned with, is their authentic truth. Because if you're misaligned with your authentic truth, then you're at some extent suffering, and that suffering can be in like some lower level. There's like a little bit of discomfort. But if you're totally authentic and are aligned with that, then you're in flow. And you're just one with the universe. You're always one with the universe going on, but you feel that way too. And so creating space into your authentic truth, like the part of the farm thing, is to create a system of nature that is authentic to you. And you're part, like I said in one of my other videos, Authentic Truth came up with the element embrace, I think it was. You are not separate from nature. So you are a part of nature and are not separate. Therefore, I'll let you answer that one. And so in creating, which I, in creating the space of like expanded authentic self, which I think a farm is just that, you then allow for your authentic self to like truly emerge. And yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, it's really cool to think about. Okay. I'm I'm gonna go do some stuff. Good talking to you.